10 recent Pokemon card investing facts. Let's just jump straight into number one. Now, there's an interesting discrepancy between Sword and Shield's Moonbryon and Scarlet and Violet's Sunbryon, and that is its Gem 10 rate. So how easy it is, or what percentage that gets sent off the grading, grade as a 10 and come back as a Gem Mint 10 with PSA. If we look at the Umbreon in this picture up here, we can see the Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies has a 72% gem rate. That is pretty strong. What that shows is we actually had pretty damn good quality control during Sword and Shield era. If we fast forward to Scarlet and Violet, you'll notice that the Sunbryon, as it's called from Prismatic Evolutions, only has a 34% gem rate. So it is less than half the chance of getting a PSA 10. And you might go, well, why is that? And really, there's just one reason, and it's print quality, or grading's getting harder. But that's not the case, because there's still Umbreons being sent off. And it's not like people are doing things any differently, because these days when people grade Pokemon cards, they pick the eyes out of them. Like, if you bought 100 raw copies, hypothetically, if you were super wealthy, of the Sunbryon, and you decided, okay, let's see exactly out of these 100, which will score a 10. Everyone's very, very specific about making sure the surface is good, making sure the centering is good, making sure the edges are good, and making sure the corners are good. And they'll pick the eyes out of it and send off the ones they think will achieve a 10. So all it really tells us is printing quality has actually dropped off during Scarlet and Violet. Now, the bigger question with this first fact out of 10 is, what impact will that have? Now, there are over 18,000 Umbreon VMAXs, whereas there's a much smaller number of the Sunbryon from Prismatic Evolutions, but it probably will somehow fall in the realm, or definitely fall in the realm, of a lower PSA 10 population of the Sunbryon versus the Moonbryon. What will that mean for the price? Well, look, the Umbreon VMAX really has a cult following, doesn't it? Whereas, look, I actually think the Sunbryon from Prismatic Evolutions, and I'm not a huge fan of the artwork from Prismatic Evolutions, I still think it's a phenomenal investment, but this Umbreon is probably the best out of all of them in my opinion. That and the Espeon are the two nicest Terra cards from Prismatic Evolutions. So I don't think this Prismatic Evolutions Umbreon will ever get the cult following that Sword and Shield one had. However, perhaps the lower gem rate, and therefore the lower number or volume of PSA 10s, once all said and done and printing stop, will actually boost up the price of this card. Fact number two, Gogh Pikachus, they are selling for like $3,000 US. Who would have thought? Now, there are 42,000 PSA 10 copies of this card. If you thought that PSA volume mattered, this is the argument against it. In my opinion, it matters massively. Like, people that say population report doesn't matter, like, my argument is just a question. My argument is this. So take that Umbreon VMAX with 18,000 PSA 10 copies. Let's say the gem rate was 0.5%. Like, it was just impossible to gem a 10. And there was only 50 copies of it in existence in a PSA 10. What would its price be? A damn sight more than what it currently is. Same with Gogh Pikachu. There's 42,000 PSA 10 copies. And you might argue, look, this card is absolutely hyped over the moon. It's not worth that. There's too many copies. There's too many raw copies. Whatever the reason might be. If the PSA 10 population was less, let's say there's only 2,000 copies. Again, this card would be selling for way, way, way more than $3,000 US. But still, this is a great counter argument against my opinion, which is PSA 10 matters, or amount of graded copies matters, because 42,000 of these and still selling for $3,000 US. That's insane, isn't it? Number three, the cheapest Team Up booster box on TCG Player is $9,500. We can pretty much safely say that Team Up is now a $10,000 US booster box. That is insane. That must be the most rapid rise to a $10,000 box that we've ever seen. Team Up is not an old Pokemon card set. It is not vintage. Yes, it was extremely short printed. Yes, it has some very nice hits inside it. Yes, it wasn't the biggest fan favorite when it first came out, and a lot of the cards were relatively cheap, but there you go. Fact number three, it is the fastest rising booster box to $10,000 that we've ever seen. Number four, this is a big one. for all you Sword and Shield lovers, particularly Fusion Strike lovers, and that is Fusion Strike is now the second booster box from the Sword and Shield era to surpass $1,000 as a sealed product. The first one, of course, being Evolving Skies. Fusion Strike has absolutely blown up in the last 12 months. It was a relatively cheap booster box not too long ago. And the artwork from the top 5 chase cards inside this set is really what is driving that price. It has a phenomenal top 5 chase with Gengar VMAX, Espeon, a couple of Mews inside there, cards like Celebi, Alt Art. This is a really, really cool box with some real serious collectability to it. You could argue Lost Origin maybe has, the better big chase inside there with Giratina, but there's some real collectability around the Fusion Strike booster box. It's colouring and the Mew on the front, etc. And Mew is just blowing up in the TCG at the moment. Isn't he, she, it, whatever it might be. Number 5, Destined Rivals. It's only just come out. It's 3 months old and it's nudging $400. What an insane price. It's been a long time, I think, since we've seen this sort of rapid rise to ascension. I don't even think Evolving Skies did it that quick. And in fact, Evolving Skies got a reprint, geez, was it 4 or 5 months after that set come out? Will Destined Rivals suffer the same fate? Not that it's really a fate, because I don't think a reprint will really affect box prices by much, but it's extremely unlikely, in my opinion, that doesn't get a reprint. But look, at the moment, if it doesn't, this box is going to go absolutely bonkers and you wish you had more of them. But verging on $400 for a set that has only just come out in the last 3 months. Crazy, isn't it? Before we jump into the second half of these 10 facts, I just wanted to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is of course the Collector app. There'll be a link in the description to download this app. It's a fantastic app. You can follow my journey down in the content creators section. You can log all your singles and sealed product inside here. If you jump into any set, you can see the top hits, the most expensive sealed products. More importantly, you can jump into set analytics and you can see total set values. I almost harp on about how important total set value is to the future potential of a sealed product's price. It is so, so important. And the big one now is when you click on your profile, you can see total money spent and on paper value, so the total value of all your sealed product and single cards. But now we can go to realized value. So if you sell something, you can type in what you sell it for and it will show locked in profits. So you can see realized value. That is a thing people have been asking for a long time. Again, link in the description to download that one. Number 6, Gengar and Mimikyu from Team Up. Sold for $3,900. Whoa, nearly $4,000 for Gengar and Mimikyu from Team Up. Expensive cards in Team Up. And there is, I shouldn't say only because it's still a fair few, but there's 1,675 PSA 10 copies of this card. And look, this card doesn't come on the market all that much, so it's probably well and truly deserving of that very hefty price tag that it's picked up. Number 7, this is a crazy one. Crazy. The most rapid rise of any Scarlet and Violet sealed product over the last 12 months is Obsidian Flame's Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. It is up 731% in 12 months. That is just insanity how quickly that box has risen in price. That is elite trainer box. That is just crazy. And that promo inside there with the stamped Pokemon Center logo on it, that Charmander, that goes for massive money in a PSA 10. And really, that is what has driven the price rise in that box. Yes, it's rare. Yes, it's got Charmander on it, but that promo, that is adding some serious weight to the uplift in price on that box. Number 8, Charizard UPC, talking about what's up in the last 12 months. This is up 154% in the last 12 months. This is your bread and butter. This is your line and length for you cricket fans out there. This is just the go-to stock when it comes to Sword and Shield. You've got a great collection of all Sword and Shield Alt Art booster packs inside there, including things like Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies, etc, etc. 3 fantastic promos with all the Charizards inside there and an awesome playmat. It is actually ultra and it's premium and it's collectible. Yes, it was printed heavily, but it's getting rarer and rarer and it's getting very sought after. Number 9 on the list, complete PSA 10 base set. $605,000. This is a first edition base set, every single holo inside there, including the most sought after being the Charizard in a first edition PSA 10. This is all of them. This is a bit of a grail, isn't it? 605,000 US dollars. This will go down in history. We're seeing some very, very big vintage sales lately, and it goes to show that vintage is not dead at all in any way, shape, or form. And to sum that up, and I know that's Wizards of the Coast era and moving into Nintendo era now, but number 10 on the list is the complete Gold Star auction. All PSA 10 Gold Stars from the EX era, 1.215 million US dollars. And there are some absolute heaters inside there. We have some very, very expensive Gold Stars inside there, Torchic being one of them, Rayquaza being another. It takes no explanation, these Gold Stars. What a fantastic, beautiful era from Pokemon when things were at an all-time low when it comes to demand. And look, this was not a difficult era to get product. Trust me, I was well and truly buying and selling during this era, and there were sets sitting on shelves 2 years, 3 years even in some cases, after sets were launched. You know, things like EX Holland Phantoms, things like EX Power Keepers, EX Crystal Guardians, they were everywhere. They were here in Australia, you get them from service stations, even local supermarkets. Like Coles Supermarket used to sell these EX era booster packs, and they just sat there, and they were, you know, $5.95 Australian, and look at the prices now. And pulling a Gold Star is such a phenomenal feeling. So that just goes to show that the vintage market is well and truly alive at the moment. There you go, 10 Pokemon investing facts over the recent couple of weeks. I'm Michael, this is PokeOz. Catch everyone next time.